Welcome back, everybody. We're back with Russell, Texas Bentley, also known as Texas Donbass. Texas, you've become a regular. You're a very polarizing personality. I met you in person. People online have all kinds of opinions of you. Why don't you tell us why people think you're an asshole? If that is what you think people think.
Well, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people think I'm an asshole. And I'm okay with that. There's most people in the world today are not the kind of people whose opinions matter, because if you don't, it's like a third grader can watch a couple of cartoons about, jet fighters or something, but he has no right at all to try and tell someone who's flown jet fighters about that job. And it's like
So
this,
what you're
man.
saying is what you're
I
saying is that most people are not qualified to judge you, considering the
Most
things you've
people are
done.
not qualified, bro. Most people are not qualified to have an opinion about pretty much any factual thing. And I'm talking about the vast majority of people.
Yeah.
Someone, you've seen these videos where the dude stands with the world map on, Ventura Boulevard or something in LA. And,
Hmm.
some college shit comes by, some dude, and he's like, hey, do you know where Ukraine is? Can you find Ukraine on the map? And they point to Australia, bro. And they point to
I've seen so
Australia.
many of those. Yeah, I've seen so many of
I
those.
mean, and it's like, if you don't know how to count to 10, then what right do you have to have
Oh, seems
or
like somebody.
physics?
Oh, you're back? Are you back? You were gone for a while.
Yeah.
You were gone for a while.
Uh,
If you were saying if you don't have the if you can't count to 10, then it cut off. Your internet
and
cut
then
off
what
for a
right do
bit.
you have to have an opinion about physics or calculus or algebra?
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
don't know, dude, I was on Sputnik radio in Washington, D.C. a couple of days ago. It
Okay.
was 12:15 a.m. for me here in Donetsk, but it was 4:45 in the afternoon in Washington, D.C., which Sputnik radio is broadcast in Washington on FM and AM. And 4:45 is pretty close to rush hour, which is prime time for radio.
Yeah.
That's when people listen to the radio when they're in their cars. And I was on with this guy, this great guy, Lee Stranahan. The show is called The Backstory. But he had this other dude on, Carmine from New Jersey,
All
as
right.
co-host. And
Mhm.
so, you know, Lee introduces me and we start talking. And this guy Carmine, from the get-go, he's like, well, you know, what right do people have to break away from their country? Who recognizes it? And I'm like, dude, the people who live here recognize it. They're the ones who get to decide. The people who live there get
Yeah.
to decide what the name of the town is.
Mhm.
And they don't care what Google Maps says or what, some dude in Kiev says.
Yeah.
When somebody says, hey, where's Artemovsk?
Mhm.
You know, they don't have to say Bakhmut. If they don't call it Bakhmut, then they don't have to ask where's Bakhmut. They say where's Artemovsk, the name of the town that we call it.
Yeah.
So this guy, he's getting on me. He's like, really, he's like, he literally said, I'm a stickler for the facts. And then I started going into a little historical fact, such as that in the Second World War, 80% of the German military power was destroyed by the Russians, by the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
And that's a simple fact that only an idiot or a liar can even question, much less deny.
Unless they're
Only.
totally ignorant.
Well, I mean, that's the same thing as being an idiot, dude. In the age
Yeah.
of information, ignorance is a choice.
That's true. That's true.
And only an idiot would choose to be ignorant, as so many do. So
So
this
I've
dude,
met you in person. Listen, 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 listen. I've met you in person,
hold
and
on, hold on,
I've.
hold on. Let me finish this story, bro. Let me
All
just
right, all
finish it
right. I
real
thought you were
quick.
done. I thought
This
you were
guy,
done.
no, 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 no. I was getting to the good part, which
Go on.
is uh, I'm not trying to be an asshole or anything, and I'll get back to that here in a second. But this dude, he says, I said 80% of the German military power in the Second World War was destroyed by Russians. And then this dude Carmine from Jersey comes on and he says, well, you know what? I think that's historical revisionism. I think you've fallen for some kind of propaganda. You hear me, bro?
Revisionism.
And dude, of course, I went ahead and tore him a new asshole right in the middle of his forehead on the radio. And
How did he take it? How did he take reality?
he didn't take it very well, man. I mean, and then eventually, after like 5 minutes or something, I got the video of it too, man. So it's going to be pretty interesting. I'm going to be putting it up pretty soon. But
I look forward to it.
and then he's like, well, you know what? I did a little research, and it looks like you were right. The consensus is that the majority, the 80% majority, and it's like I told him, dude. It's like, Russia did 80%. The US, Britain, Canada, Australia, all the other allies,
Maybe
the Free French,
did 20%.
did 20%. And it's like,
Yeah.
everybody goes to a giant party, a big dinner, at the fancy restaurant. Everybody's there. One guy picks up the tab and he lets all the other guests combined pitch in for the tip.
Yeah.
And then all these
Except
other
we're talking about
guests.
human lives. Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, but you understand. And then the guests who each pitched in a fraction of 20%, not even 20% each, but a fraction altogether. And then they go around saying, oh, yeah, we were the ones that bought dinner for everybody.
Yeah.
It's really like that. That's historical revisionism. And you know what? I hate that stuff. And you know what? I schooled this dude live on the radio in Washington, D.C. I called him, and maybe this was an asshole, but you know what? I called him a buffoon.
No, that's
a
nice.
buffoon on live radio, bro.
That's old school. It's respectable.
Well,
You didn't
that is
you
old
didn't
school.
say
And you know what?
idiot.
No,
You could have
dude.
said
I mean, you know what?
idiot.
And
Buffoon is nice.
well, I mean, and you know what? I was trying to be nice, dude, because if it hadn't been like on broadcast radio, I'd have said, a 5-word long string of, cuss words, expletives,
Yeah.
yes, deleted, and so I mean, and maybe that's why people think that I'm an asshole, which I guess we can say that expletive here, right?
I don't know.
Or you can.
I think people are just not accustomed to your directness. I find that sometimes with myself as well, and I think that's maybe why you and I got off on the right foot, let's say,
On the right
when we
foot,
met.
bro.
Yeah. When we met up in real life, there was definitely understanding beyond cultures and beyond
A
personalities.
natural affinity from guys coming from two very different backgrounds, but yet arriving at the same place, which is in
You're
Donetsk, bro.
you're a
You
straight you're a
stayed,
straight
you
talker. You're a
stayed in
straight
my
talker.
house, man.
Yeah, yeah, that was a privilege and
I
an
mean,
honor,
that is
um,
it
to
was
to
it was
be
our
welcomed like
pleasure
that.
to have you here, dude, because you know what? It's like this, man. I respect people first of all and above all who are good, who have a good heart, who try and help other people, who are willing to sacrifice for the greater good of everybody. Because that's the kind of person I try and be. And I like people that are like that. And I like people that are good at their job. I like that very much too. You know, it's like if someone's good at their job, if you can trust them to do what needs to be done, then you become like a symbiotic organism with them. You can do things together and you don't have to say, oh, what should I do now? I mean, they already know. They already know. And
Yep.
it's like a military squad. It could be like, a lumberjack crew. It could be, a band of outlaws,
Mhm.
but once you get that thing working, once you working, when everybody is good at their job, and really the most basic and important thing about being good at any job is doing what you say you're going to do.
Yep.
If you say you're going to do it, you do it. That's the basis of being good at your job. And that precludes, that excludes. So if you can't do it and you go around saying, yeah, I can do this, I'm some badass, I know, but you can't really do it, then you're not good at your job. You're not only not good, you're bad at your job and you're a pain in the ass. And I don't like people like that. And there's too many of them. They're totally, again, just like with history, they're totally unqualified for their job, but they go around like they're, experts at it. And it takes a long time to become an expert at something. And it takes a lot of work. And there's a lot of people that are young and they haven't even been around a long time, so they can't have done anything for a long time yet. And but yet they're so self-assured, And it's tragic because there's this thing called the Dunning-Kruger effect. And the problem is that there's a lot of people that are so stupid that they don't even know how stupid they are.
Yep. I
And these are the
recently
kind of
watched a video
people
on it.
that Dunning-Kruger, bro, it's the real deal. And I mean, and the more stupider they are, the more certain that they are that they're right.
Yep.
Like this dude on the radio, he has no clue what he's talking about, but he's telling me, who's been studying it for, probably as long as this dude's been alive. And he's like, well, I think you're falling for propaganda and, you're historically revisioning, and, to call him a buffoon was pretty nice for me, But, dude, so that's what I like. I like people who are good. I like people who are honest. Respect for the truth is the truth is our most important weapon in this war. And I'm not just talking about the Russia-Ukraine military special operation, dude. I'm talking about the big war that's going on, the worldwide war that's already going on
Yep.
of evil against humanity, which, I mean, it makes, oh, how's the front in Donetsk, dude? I mean, and of course, Donetsk is the cutting front, along with
Yep.
Syria too, but these days, most especially here. And, that's important. But, dude, the big war, it's the good guys against, or it's the bad guys against the good guys, and the good guys got to defend themselves. And that's what we're doing. And the truth is our most important weapon, bro. That's why we can't lie. Morality, being good, being true is our most important weapons. That's why we can't lie. We can't do fake propaganda, the same thing back. Like when the La Stampa newspaper in Italy or New York Post, when they post photographs on their front page of where Ukrainians bombed Donetsk, and they put those photographs and say, oh, this is Russians bombing Ukraine. The opposite, literally the exact opposite of the truth. And they know it, dude. It's not like, oh, well, it's not like they made a mistake, dude. They did it on purpose.
Of course, yeah.
And so
propaganda from like
the
forever.
truth,
I've
dude,
been watching it
not
since
just
I was a
propaganda,
kid.
dude. Satanic lies, bro. Literally
Well, yeah.
the opposite of the truth. Nothing can be dirtier than that. And the only thing that can defeat that is the real truth, bro. The one out of 100 billion different lies, and there's one truth. And that's what we got. That's what we got to hold on to. We can't make the same kind of, we can't do what our enemies do, the West, these 180-degree lies. We can't do that. We can only fight their lies with the truth.
Agreed.
And we can only fight
Absolutely.
their evil with their good, with our good, dude. We can only fight their evil with our good. That means, we can't take revenge. We can't torture a bunch of UCrop prisoners. We can't have them surrender and then just mow them down. There's some guys that really need that. And and there's some guys that I'm sorry to see are let live.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to see guys that were let live back in Mariupol who are now back on the front today, trying to kill my friends. And man, like every one of my friends right now is on the front. I got one guy who rejoined the Army, one friend, great friend. He rejoined the Army 3 months ago. He was in the Army back in 2015. He got pretty seriously wounded. So he had a disability exemption where he wouldn't get drafted. But he rejoined anyway. And he spent 3 months. And he's been on the front the whole 3 months too. And now he's back in town. So I'm going to try and meet him in the next couple of days. But pretty much everybody other than that, dude, I'm praying for them on a daily basis that they live. Because I've lost 11 friends in this war since 2014. And I've lost 6 of them in the last year, in less than a year, this last year. So
I got it.
Why am I an asshole? Because
may they rest in peace.
I've been around. I don't put up with bullshit. I do not tolerate idiots that try and, okay, look, it's like this, man. I got no problem with a good-hearted idiot. I've known a lot of them, and I like them. I love them. They can be a real pain in the ass. They can be a detriment, but if they mean well, you have to respect that, and you have to nurture it and continue it. So good-hearted people are hard to find, man. They're rare. So even if they're idiots, if they're good-hearted, I can put up with them. The other thing I can put up with is someone who's a complete asshole. Somebody says, get the fuck to work, get your ass on the ground, whatever like that, like sometimes I do. But if they're an expert at their job, if they're pretty much always in like 99% plus right, and know what they're talking about and do the right thing right when it needs to be done, even if there's, $100,000 or somebody's life on the line, and they do the right thing. If they're an expert at their job, and I mean an expert, more than 10 years of doing it and not screwing up and advancing and getting better at it the whole time for 10 years. That's the meaning of an expert. And if you're an expert at your job, then you have the right to be an asshole if you want. And so if somebody says I'm an asshole, maybe they're right. But I'll tell you something, dude. I earned the right. You know why? Because when it comes to information warfare, when it comes to being a combat soldier, even a Spetsnaz soldier, when it comes to giving human aid from the heart and from the wallet, as big or bigger than any other Western humanitarian aid has done in Donbass since 2015. You know what? I am an expert in all of those things. And so if I'm an asshole, let those who can do any one of them better than me can criticize me. If you spent more time on the front than I have in combat, you can tell me about what it takes to be a soldier. If you've reached as many people all around the world with the truth about what's going on here and what's going on in general as I have, which is millions of people, millions, multi-millions, then
For sure,
you
yeah.
can maybe
You've been at
discuss.
this for a while.
That's right, dude. And I've apparently been pretty good about it, dude. They have fan clubs for me in China. People know about me. Dude, I'm not kidding. People know about me
I
in
know.
South
I've
Africa,
seen the
dude, New
video. I've
Zealand.
seen the videos.
So anyone who's done better than that can go ahead and school me on being, an information warrior. Anybody that's brought more humanitarian aid into Donbass since this war began in 2014 than me, which is more than a half and probably close to 1 million in total dollars between Han Humanitarian, Suit Bremeni, Donbass Humanitarian Aid, and many, many of my own personal side projects. It's between a half and a mil. Call it 650 or 750,000 that I've brought in total. Helps to
Here's
bring in.
some stock footage that you gave me
Yeah,
from
dude,
a
there you
while
go.
ago
There you go,
of
man.
you handing out some aid back in the
Mm.
day.
See that? That's Han Battalion, bro. That's Han Humanitarian. And so, you know
Yeah.
what? So, anybody that's been a soldier more than me can school me on being a soldier. Anybody that's been an info warrior and done better information to more people than I have, they can school me on that. And anybody that's brought more humanitarian aid to the good people here, both sweet civilians and innocent kids and otherwise, they can school me on that. But here's the point, bro. Anybody that's done more than me in all three areas, anybody that's been a human aid and an information warrior and a soldier more than me, they can call me an asshole. And anyone that
So basically,
hasn't,
not a lot of people.
well, and
That
anyone
that
that
would be
hasn't
my take.
can go ahead and shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And I think that pretty
You've de
much covers it right there, dude.
I
Because you know
think
what? Talk is cheap.
definitely, and you've definitely been around the block as we can see. Texas. It's good to have you on. Should we stop this recording now? Give the people what they want? Or shall
Give
we
it
keep
to them,
going?
bro. Both barrels.
All right.
Let's do another one, dude.
All right.
All right. So,
Back out with some music. Hold on. let's get out of here. Don't forget to subscribe, everyone. There's gonna be more, I promise.